All right, kids, and that's how I defeated one of the world's most dangerous villains with only my 2 fists. My Desert Eagle and 2 rocket launchers. Eat peace, motherfuckers! Any questions?
Have you met Wonder Woman?
She did spend an entire party IFing me from across the room.
Sick.
Dude, I said effing. Hey! All right!
Peacemaker, I was hesitant to bring you onto this team. But right now, the world needs a son of a bitch. And you're the only one I got.
You know, you don't have to call me Peacemaker. You can call me Chris.
Just because you're handsome doesn't mean you're not a piece of shit.
Think I'm handsome?
Oh my God.
Okay.
This task force doesn't officially exist.
You want to do this job? You can't balk, ever.
Ah, shit! Listen, I can help. I'm stellar with weapons in combat.
You don't have to shoot people after I already killed them.
Right.
Fucking game day, bitches!
Aren't you guys being a little nonchalant about all this?
Are you insinuating there is a wrong time and a right time to rock? Fuck yeah!
You don't understand what we're up against.
We need every hand on deck.
Is that an eagle?
It's Eagle, my sidekick.
Ah, my asshole! The fuck's wrong with your bird?
Such a good, handsome boy.
Dude, we're saving the world. It's everything we've ever wanted.
Ah, shit!
Fuck, dude!
Fuck yeah!
Tell me what you know.
I'm not telling you shit.
How do you like that?
I like it. I like it a lot. I don't give a fuck.
What?
Give it all you got. Hey, don't worry. I'm not giving this guy anything.
Maybe you could just give him a little.
Hey, Sweet Cheeks, can you take my order real quick?
Seriously, dude.
She had cherubic cheeks. It's a compliment. Sweet Cheeks is your butt. No, it's not.
It is. It's like calling somebody, I don't know, sugar tits.
Totally inappropriate. Tits are way too big to be sugar tits. Sugar tits are like smaller, perkier tits, like yours. Technically, I think you may have sugar tits too, but somehow that also feels inappropriate.
Oh.
Oh, that wasn't awkward at all.
Yeah, I really love it when we start into the middle of a conversation about sugar tits.
I love that. It was perfectly timed to explain the weirdness that is this show. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
I wanted to do like a whole little thing.
Yeah. That was going to
anyway.
be there's stuff, there's things that we did, but we've done it now. We're here. Hello. Hi. Quinny, you should do the intro.
Yeah, do the whole dance right now.
Okay, right, here we go. Do I have the music, Dion?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got it queued up right here.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah. There we go. There, I'm doing so much. Like, for all of you people who are just listening to the podcast, just imagine that I'm doing the best dancing in the world right now. I'm so puffed out. Yeah, wow, yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow. Do you really want to taste it? No. This is one thing you don't want to taste.
That is not a taste of things. Hello, hey everyone, how y'all going? How y'all doing?
Welcome to the periodic table of awesome, you motherfucking peacemakers. Yay!
Oh, language.
Sorry.
A bit much for Tuesday evening.
I really, really like peace. What can I tell you? I'm one of those guys. I just really fucking love peace.
You're not even wearing a shirt with a dove of peace on it. I mean, how can you?
No, sorry, I'm wearing a Captain America shirt, which is technically. I mean, is it the opposite of peace? I don't know.
I have a feeling that Peacemaker would call him like a dick.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Captain
Peacemaker would
America is
probably
like
call me a lot of other things too first, like. Like there'd be a whole bunch of comments about my weight, a bunch of things about probably being homosexual. There'd be a whole bunch of comments in here that would
completely politically incorrect.
Yeah.
See, I'm sure that I've been watching the wrong series, because the series of TV that I was watching was about a guy who had a heart problem and then had something
Oh.
installed in there to keep his
Pacemaker?
heart. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Like, and it was very boring. He didn't do much action at all. I was like, this does not match with James
thing
Gunn's
that I-
Suicide Squad at all.
The thing that I liked about Pacemaker is it had a really good rhythm. Like I felt
Yeah. Yeah, it was just a
Until it
just
failed.
wow.
There we go.
So yes,
Well,
what are
I'm
we
done for
talking
today.
about? I don't know.
What are we doing? We're doing Peacemaker, the television series
Peacemaker.
no one asked for, yet we all got.
Yeah, I kind of was not asking for it after the end of Suicide Squad when they had that, soft opening, and I'm like, oh god, seriously? He's
Mhm.
like the worst character in this movie.
I know. It was like when they said that after like James Gunn had been working on the Suicide Squad for however long, and then they announced, like, I don't know whether it was before the movie came out or whether it was, around the same time, that, hey, we've decided we're doing a spin-off of it and we're going to do a spin-off with Peacemaker. And I think everyone was like, what?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we'll do a, yeah, it's like we're doing this.
The guy with the
character.
toilet on his head?
What the fuck? I look, and let's be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the DC television universe because I would say like Quiddy and Jill more than Peter and I would be the ones watching.
But I would also say that this is extremely far removed from any of that type of genre.
Sure, except for Doom Patrol.
Well,
I
there's
fucking
Doom
love,
Patrol.
Yeah,
I mean, we all love Doom Patrol.
Yeah. I think
We do.
if it doesn't live on the CW, it's very different.
Yeah.
Mm.
yes, and
Doom
this is
Patrol and Peacemaker are both HBO.
And I think this is that interesting thing where like Marvel has been so good at going, okay, we have a cohesive universe, and what happens in the movies goes on into the TV. And DC has this weird thing of going, well, we've got our TV and there's multiple different universes within the TV realm. Like there's the Arrowverse, but then there's other stuff, and never the twain shall meet. Like even what is it, Superman and Lois? I'm not entirely sure whether that's Arrowverse anymore or that's something else. It is? Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Diggle showed up in it.
Yep.
But like then you've got this that is very clearly tied to the movies.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is they're all still technically the one universe. Like, because this, like, the Suicide Squad tied back to Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad tied into The Flash and Justice League and all that stuff. So it's all still technically the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
And this is okay. Like before we get too far into like unpacking the DC television movie multiverse theory, which they can't call anymore because now that Marvel's calling it multiverse, they're like, God damn it, we can't call it that. We've got to call it Flashpoint or something else because they've got that now, and we need to. Things can't cross-pollinate, and you can't even have characters that look the same. Oh wait, that's just Marvel and DC. Anyway, Peacemaker.
Yes.
The spin-off from James Gunn's cinematic version, which is not Snyderverse and not related.
Yes, it is. It's still tied. Like the Flash shows up in the first Justice League movie.
It's literally a sequel to the other Suicide Squad.
So it is still all Snyderverse.
So I'm not going to go down this role. Like, where's the fucking DC gonk? Is it just Aquaman? That's it. Whenever you go off the Aquaman, no one cares. Like the DC universe is dead. Like, sorry, the Snyderverse is dead, guys. Just let it die.
But it's not. It lives on.
Well, but it doesn't need to because I have not seen so many of these movies and I watched this series and understood everything.
Right here, we have a very good clip from Peacemaker explaining why Aquaman is a terrible person. So I'm just going to play that right now.
Okay, we're going to do that and then we'll come back to a synopsis.
For what?
Superhero shit.
You're kind of bulky to be a superhero, aren't you?
What do you mean bulky?
Most superheroes have a gymnast body. They're ready to go.
I'm ready to go.
What superhero are you?
Peacemaker.
Get out of here, motherfucker!
You a fan?
There's no superhero called Peacemaker.
Dude, I'm fucking famous.
Not that famous. Aquaman, he's famous.
Fuck Aquaman.
No, man. Fine. If you're a superhero, what were you in prison for?
Integrity. I made a vow to have peace, no matter how many people I have to kill to get it.
Exactly. A very easy to follow character, and fuck Aquaman.
They also go into a lot more depth about what Aquaman does.
Get it? Depth?
Sure.
But I can't help but correlate the whole why do dudes that are superheroes linked to the ocean somehow the butt of all the jokes? Like it's the same with the deep in The Boys.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you have a guy, he must be fucking fishes.
Yeah. And that then comes around to Namor. Like whenever Namor shows
Yeah,
up in Marvel,
yes.
you know there is going to be a whole bunch of dolphin banging comments.
Yeah.
But they've already done the dolphin banging in The Boys. Look, we're losing Peter. She's
Yeah.
out.
Okay,
She's getting
okay.
there's a glaze happening, and it's justifiable. Like, I'm there.
Yeah. Okay. So what is the Peacemaker about, or what is Peacemaker the series about? Right. Set 5 months after the events of The Suicide Squad, the definite article, the series follows Christopher Smith, or the Peacemaker, as he is enlisted by an Argus Black Ops squad led by Clemson Mern for Project Butterfly, a mission to take out parasitic butterfly-like creatures. That is the short version of Peacemaker.
It does
Hang on.
sound very
I
peaceful.
love the music.
That's how everything's gone wrong music.
Yeah, exactly. It was a terrible synopsis. I hate it, Quiddy. It's just done badly. No,
sorry.
that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So like the thing that I had slight issue with is that in the film that Peacemaker first appeared in, which is literally James Gunn's John Cena version of Peacemaker, I didn't like the character of Peacemaker.
Oh no, fuck no.
And so when they announced that they were going to make this television series about Peacemaker, like it's like, James Gunn, what are you doing next? You know, everyone like the Suicide Squad has Margot Robbie and all these people. Everyone's having fun.
Idris
Right?
Elba.
Yeah, it's all,
Sylvester Stallone as a shark.
yeah, like all of that. It's like, who are you going to make? I'm going to make a Peacemaker TV series. And everyone went, what? Like the record scratch was heard across the planet.
But honestly, I feel like whenever James Gunn says, I'm doing X, it's always
Yeah.
because it always is left of center.
Well, that's just it.
his
Like
shtick.
his whole thing of like, give me the thing that isn't working. Give me the thing that you think is going to be fucking dumb, and I'll make this shit work. I mean, who remembers pre-Guardians of the Galaxy where everyone's going, it's a fucking talking tree and a raccoon.
Yeah, that's fucking cool.
How are you going to make this shit work?
Because, yeah, it's cool because, like, that was a nice departure for Marvel to start doing weird shit. It's like, I'm going to make some weird shit. And I like that. It's fucking great.
Well done on quoting a film from James Gunn.
Oh, I can quote another one. Meat. That's from Slither. Go back and watch it, James Gunn. That's canon history. If you just have people saying meat. Meat.
Meat. Slither is a very good film.
It's very fun. Anyway.
Yes. So yeah, like he has kind of this history of going, okay, well let's pull some shit out of nowhere and turn it into something that is weirdly commercially viable.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think the turnaround from Suicide Squad to The Suicide Squad has probably been one of the more successful things of that. Because you've got a first film that was a fucking dog.
Oh God, yeah.
It was completely, it was very beautiful design, and then I didn't understand why they changed the narrative and made it a giant ball of laser sky thing.
I actually want to just briefly address a couple of things that have been asked in the chat by Missy and by Karina.
Absolutely.
Who remembers when James Gunn was cancelled for 2 minutes? Yeah. So
it was more like a year and a bit.
it was a while, but also the reason, like the question, you know, did he have some dirt on Disney to forgive him? No. The reason that it kind of didn't take is because the cancellation was done by somebody in bad faith who was from the other side of politics, who was just trying to silence him. So basically somebody from the right going, hey, we don't like that this guy is a progressive who's you know, managed to actually make films that are really successful and shit. So we're going to dredge up his old bullshit, basically.
Yeah.
And then people went, actually, you know, maybe we do need to look at the context of when things happened. So you can't be, you know.
Are you finding there's a common theme that relates to the Peacemaker TV series?
Maybe there is an element of, you know, somebody trying to find some kind of redemption for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
everybody is able to change, and they should be allowed to change. And yeah, that's kind of what we're seeing in Peacemaker. Because as a character that I absolutely loathed from that movie and did not want to see a series for, quite enjoying this show, and I am seeing the change in the character.
Well, I remember when I think the first episode of it dropped and you came back and were like, oh.
I was like, I don't know, guys. Because honestly, they said it in that trailer that we saw in the beginning, is like, you might be handsome, but doesn't stop you from being a piece of shit. And my first reaction from that first episode was like, are we supposed to find this piece of shit charming? And is that supposed to stop us from thinking he's a piece of shit?
No, he's always been a piece of shit. That's what I love about this show. He's a piece of shit. And eventually everyone, he just kind of like, it's just hard for people to penetrate the fact that why he's a piece of shit. And then eventually, what seems to be, it is penetrating that he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, but it's also penetrating him that he's a piece of
like,
shit.
It's penetrating him that he's a piece of shit, because it seems like now you're starting to understand some sort of psychological barrier or protective syndrome that he has around awesome things. And the reason that he has a weird, arrogant self-confidence may be because of a lot of issues in his childhood that he had to build this persona around. Anyway, we're getting very much into the psychology of it. Have we all watched it? Are we all up to date with it? How about everyone in the chat? Have you all watched all of them? Because there's not many left.
Only two.
Only two. Oh.
Yeah.
I kind of
Though
want it to go a bit more.
there's already calls for there to be a second series, but I believe that Gunn's actually said that he would like to do a spin-off with a different character.
Sure. I like the idea of anthology stuff. Like anthology television series. You know.
Now, whether or not that's a spin-off from the Suicide Squad, so a different character from that, or whether it's a spin-off from Peacemaker, I don't know. If it's a vigilante spin-off, I'm not in.
No.
I wouldn't mind seeing this Argus team and how like they take like a different character maybe each season and do something.
And who is Argus in the sense of like I'm getting like I kind of can get it through the explanation. It's like the government-backed black ops people who use superheroes like Suicide Squad to do government crimes, which makes it okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Task Force X. So always throughout the comics, always run by Amanda Waller.
Yes.
Also known as Checkmate sometimes.
Oh yes, true. Yep. And turned up multiple times through multiple different TV series. It's like they showed up in Smallville. They showed up in Arrow.
Argus was very Arrowverse, but Checkmate was in Smallville.
Ah, it was Checkmate, wasn't it? Yeah, right.
Peter, how did you find it? Are you following along with this?
I mean, yes, but also I don't think not knowing this detail really affects your enjoyment of the series.
No. Sure. Like, essentially, I mean, you probably need to have watched The Suicide Squad, and that's about it.
I mean, do you? Because I watched the first 2 episodes without having watched it.
Oh.
Yeah, remember Peter
please do tell. Do you need to have seen it?
How are you finding it?
To be honest, I could have taken or left the Suicide Squad. I kind of regret spending time on it. But I was like, so I wasn't even going to watch this series, to be honest. I was going to be like, guys, I'm out. Like, I did some stuff last week that kind of wasn't really up my alley, and maybe this week I'm going to have a break. But then it kept like turning up on my television, so I was like, I'll watch an episode.
I like Peace.
I don't know why. Maybe there's like a similarly named character. I thought, just based on the name and knowing nothing, that this was going to be like actiony, violent, vigilante, kill.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people were expecting it to be that.
I mean, did you get up to the part where he had to murder the family?
I know, but what I wasn't expecting was an element that I always really like when I see, which is the irreverent humor. And I wasn't expecting humor at all, to be honest, because I didn't watch a trailer. I didn't even look at a poster. Honestly, you guys just kept telling me to watch Peacemaker, and I was like, that doesn't sound like something I like. Stop
I
it.
like that that's your reaction to us. We're like, hey, Pete, you might want to enjoy this.
Why? I just want to review Encanto. And I watched an episode, and within the first 5 minutes, I was like, oh, no, this is totally up my alley. So then after 2 episodes, I was like, well, maybe I should watch The Suicide Squad to, like get a bit more of this background on this character. And then I watched The Suicide Squad, and I was a bit bored, to be honest. I don't think you have to watch it. I think the only context that watching The Suicide Squad gave me was the circumstances under which he killed Flag and why that was messing with him. Because without actually watching The Suicide Squad, you can kind of think that maybe like Flag was a villain or some kind of turncoat, and that's why he had to kill him. It doesn't kind of give the context that no, that dude was really trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And Peacemaker was very much not. So that's the only bit of context that I feel like they skipped out on in the television show, where if you've watched nothing else, that kind of helps. Honestly, everything else, you know how few of these DC movies I've watched. Take it or leave all of it, to be honest. But this gave me a bit of a giggle. Like in like a kind of like a weird Doom Patrol-y, but tonally different way.
Yeah. And I actually, it hadn't quite gelled in my head, but I could so easily imagine this version of Peacemaker and everything running into the Doom Patrol. Like that kind of attitude and that kind of weird, like the goofiness, the weird factor totally would gel with that. Like he's not going to walk into a scene and find himself in the middle of Titans, but he's
just going to say fuck Batman though.
Yep.
Like at some point, Peacemaker's like, fuck Batman. I've got a coterie.
Like, what I was interested about when I was watching it, though, knowing that you guys know what the character is supposed to be, and I'm just kind of coming in this brand new, like, it's just so
no.
Is this like not a character that we're like we know what he's supposed to be from the
character at all.
He's not even a fucking D-lister. Like Peacemaker is one of those ones that like he's there with Polka Dot Man. In terms of like being fucking him, Kite Man, Calendar Man, a whole bunch of fucking.
I know who Kite Man is now from the Harley Quinn animation.
Yes, I love that they brought up Kite Man in the latest episode as well.
Like the only thing we need is fucking Condiment King to come in somewhere, and like that's the thing. He's DBF lister or whatever. So nobody has any attitude at all about who Peacemaker is other than what we've seen in that first film.
Yeah, and I love that he's just white trash. They've made him in through the TV show as like white trash hero. Like no one knows or cares who he is. He's literally a person that people go, "Oh, you're not a superhero. You're no one."
Look,
no one knows who you are.
Peacemaker's history in comics to find out a bit more about him, because I'm like, how loyal to this character's history is this TV show being? And apart from being like trailer trash, it's kind of spot on. Like it's a guy that was ambiguously a hero in very much a vigilante style of just killing people and stuff.
Right.
But had like a psychotic break when he found out that his father was like a Nazi soldier.
Oh, so that's all part of it, right?
That is part of it, yeah. And then he kind of just like lost his marbles a bit and was like, okay, peace no matter the cost, and like went a bit crazy. And that's when he kind of got recruited into doing like work for Argus and Checkmate and things. So they've got that bit kind of nailed. But I like how they've updated it for like the stuff that we're kind of dealing with today and what we're seeing with like the right-wing propaganda and the way
Yeah.
that the right are very much into like the white supremacy again, and
Yep.
how
And
everything old is new again, guys.
and the idea
the
that
neo-Nazi ideal is very much coming back to the fore, and so
and carrying guns and being a hero, a superhero who just shoots people, you know, because that's one of those things that usually delineates, you know, the good guys from the anti-heroes or whatever, is that, you know, the good guys aren't going out there just shooting people for no
But
reason.
also like that really ambiguous like toxic masculinity kind of idea of like, oh, the way to be a hero is to like just fuck people up in the most you know messy way possible, and like, yeah, I'm tough, I've just like slaughtered all of these people.
He's kind of like dollar store Punisher, but without
Oh,
the
yeah.
the sort of dark, brooding
But without a coat.
costume. But it's more like
Oh, like I'm yeah, I don't know.
yeah. you
I
kinda
think
get-
I thought this was The Punisher. I didn't want to watch it.
right, yeah, and
Like,
absolutely.
I thought it was something
This
different.
is this is the thing, you know, the Peacemaker as a character was created like the 60s. So sometimes you look at these ideas and you go, wow, these characters that they've created 50, 60 years ago in some cases, or further, you know, with those ones, they're bringing you now, and they're able to provide them with like, okay, here was a very small snippet of a story back then that they just gave bad character motivation, very simple, okay, that's what we needed at the time, but it's relevant because they can flesh it out a little bit more because people don't really care. So it's fun that I think James Gunn's taken this old nobody character and just being able to ground them, especially with the fact that everyone is used to superheroes now. They just go, okay, what's your origin story? And very deftly, I think he hasn't like explained too much of his origin story, apart from the fact that you go, he's a terrible person who has obviously had a terrible traumatic childhood, which we haven't really seen because we don't need to see it. We just need to know that he's still a terrible person, but he's just being exposed to nicer people. And that's,
But even not even that much nicer, because
Yeah.
everybody in that task force is kind of an asshole
Yeah.
in their own
Absolutely.
special way.
Yeah, everyone is a complete, and that's what I kind of like about like this is not a show about, this is not a superhero show. This is a supervillain TV show, or just a bad guys show. And even if
it's
they're
also a good opportunity to, you know, take a look at why we don't like these kinds of people, and also understand why they're like that, because it comes down to like the nature nurture argument thing, and it's like, well, why do people have these ideas and beliefs and ways of thinking
And talking and interacting and
it's like, because there are so many of us that have matured and said, okay, well, you know, I probably used to talk like that and it's actually not really nice and it's hurting a lot of people, so I'm gonna, you know, change my behavior. But why are there still people that think like that, and why are they in this bubble of others that you know keep perpetuating this hate speech and, you know, way of life, and humanizing them and making us maybe sympathize with these people, and, you know,
or at least wanting to talk to them, or at least going,
instead
okay,
of just demonizing them and thinking, you know, they're all idiots, they don't know shit. It's like, they're not that dumb, they're human beings with thoughts and feelings, and we just need to understand them a little better and maybe help them understand themselves.
I said that to somebody the other day, and I was like, this whole thing of, you know, the siloing and the echo chambers and all that sort of stuff. And there is a thing of just going, if you just shut somebody off, you give no opportunity to have any kind of interaction that could possibly change them. So you like, I think this is a real like, and this is why I like Gunn, because I think what he does is say different people are interesting, you know, and you know, heroes come in all different shapes and sizes, and maybe we all just need to talk to each other a little bit more.
He might not be a hero yet, but he might be one day.
He might be. So is it working for you, Pete?
Those elements are working for me, and I feel like the difference between this character and the reason we're able to like this character, even though he is a bit of an asshole, is that there's definitely an arc, and part of that arc is this character learning some introspection. and the fact that the character, seems to have a willingness to listen and learn in a way that many people that we come across on the street who are just being assholes do not. I also kind of like the way the writing is quite clever in allowing his assholeness to be jumping boards to, make a few gentle points, like why we don't call people sugar tits anymore.
We don't.
And other things. There's kind of like there have been a few places, and I think we've got a clip, coming later where this is very, very obviously highlighted, where certain worldviews are certainly called to attention. And the reason they're able to be called to attention is because of the kind of characters we're dealing with. And then we're able to examine them and turn them on their heads in a way that you wouldn't necessarily be able to if you weren't dealing with these kinds of asshole-ish characters. So I'm really kind of enjoying all of those things. And I am enjoying it. This is what I was wondering if you guys would have an issue with. I'm enjoying Peacemaker's character arc and the fact that he seems to be able to be a little bit introspective. And I was wondering if that would piss anyone off, because is this character just an asshole that's supposed to be an asshole and he's never supposed to, learn or change, or, is everyone gone soft and left trying to make the Peacemaker understandable and nice?
I don't think he was ever meant to be a total prick, like from the comics kind of perspective. Like, he was initially set out as a hero that just broke and went off in a completely different tangent. And this is kind of like, okay, well, if that's where that character was left at, let's bring him back and like try to redeem him and turn him into a hero. And I'm kind of enjoying, because I didn't like him in Suicide Squad. I thought, why do we want to follow a person that's horrible and just mean and kind of dumb? But like, what the character development that we're seeing from him in this show is what's keeping me watching. Because like I said earlier, like that first episode, I was like, this guy's just a prick. Like, who the fuck wants to watch this show? But little by little, like you see the changes, and I'm like, oh, I hate that I kind of like this guy now.
It's
and
actually,
I want to see him be better.
It's quite well done.
I think
it's quite well written, and it's well performed. There's some great comic moments with some excellent timing. I think.
I'd like to bring together like the ideas that you've already said. I like the idea that this show is kind of like when someone tells a bad joke or says something that's kind of ignorant or wrong, or they don't understand the context, having them explain it out loud is the best way to make them go, what do you mean? That's not wrong. And then talking about that, and that's what I feel this whole show is about. This whole show is an explanation of why that's wrong for the character of Peacemaker.
Yeah, can you please explain that joke to me?
So
and watching them be uncomfortable.
But it's also, it's not about the uncomfortable, because he's rarely uncomfortable. He's just more defensive. It's also an interesting thing to explain that, look at where he's come from. He is someone who, like the character is someone who's grown up literally in the Ku Klux Klan, surrounded by horrible hate, but he's actually not a bad person underneath, and has had to do a lot of terrible stuff, to try to fit in. And
I
when
think he has a huge facade put up,
and it's so interesting.
Deep down, you can see that he is not a hateful person on purpose.
Yeah, it's just like, it's so interesting that that this show has done that. When universally everyone that I know who started watching this show is like, I don't like that character. I don't want to get to know that character. And as you progress through, you're still like, I still hate that character, but I'm starting to understand why that character does what that character does. But also
an interesting one. Sorry, you were in mid-flow.
No, I was just going to talk about a different character completely to move.
Well, I was going to jump across and say that the interesting juxtaposition between him as Peacemaker and Vigilante. Was that where
Sure.
you were going?
No, I wasn't talking. I was going to talk about Eagly because that's my favorite character of the show. But whatever, sure. No, that's all right. Well, let's talk about the vigilante. What a dick. Anyway.
Yeah, well, but this
back
this
to the
is,
eagle.
Okay, we love Eagly, yes.
Everyone loves
This is
Eagly.
the reason that Vigilante is in there. Because Vigilante is what fucking Peacemaker could be. Like, he is essentially a sociopath, but he's kind of too dumb to really be a complete bad guy. And he's sort of the only reason that he is a good guy is because he's got it into his head that this is what good guys do. But he's not a good guy. He's dangerously fucking I'm talking true sociopathy in the sense that doesn't have emotions, doesn't know how to interact with people, and is masking using, literally masks.
Yeah, like this is a dude that is on the spectrum and probably shouldn't have the level of what do I want to say, like access to weapons or abilities.
But he's from
that he
America.
should.
He's from
Very
America.
dangerous.
He's
it's
got
like,
a job and he's in America.
Yeah, it's kind of showing like what would happen if someone that was emotionally devoid of any empathy, what would happen if they were in that position of taking the law into their own hands.
And also like the fact that he has looked up to Peacemaker for however long. And he looked up to the dick version of Peacemaker. So he's been kind of going, yeah, I want to be that guy. Like he's massive and buff and he kills people. And that's the only guiding fucking principle that version of Vigilante has.
Yeah, but I mean, it's keeping it in that, okay, well, here's the echo chamber happening between these two characters. And like one of them is realizing that maybe this behavior is not cool anymore and is changing. But it's like we can see the dichotomy between them now. Like, someone that's set in, what they think is the right thing, and someone that's maybe having their mind blown.
As well as their heads off.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of that, because I realized we're running out of time having this very deep and introspective chat about it where we haven't even gotten to Spoiler Town yet. But
well, I mean, I think it's interesting that we are at that point where we're wanting to pull apart a show that we thought was going to be a bunch of fucking dick and fart jokes.
And it's quite interesting how divisive it is in the fan base. Like some people absolutely love it and other people are just totally against it. And I love it even in the chat. People are like, I don't know, it's not great. And other people are like, oh, it's pretty good. And it's like, I don't know what's going on. I think that's mainly because of Eagly, though. Are we going to talk about Eagly yet? I want to talk about Eagly.
Okay, let's talk about Eagly.
Best supporting character, bird / anything that I've seen in a long while. And, thank you, D. Bradley Baker, for providing the voice of Eagly. I just really hope that the mocap was done by Alan Tudyk, but we can't all. And if you wonder about
that to be true, I just know it's
look
not.
up Peacemaker, Alan Tudyk. You don't know why he's even in there, but it's just quite funny when you read the story about it. Yeah. Anyway, who's your favorite character apart from Peacemaker? He's not my favorite character. My favorite character is Eagly. Because Eagly gets to shine in that one episode where you're like, why is Eagly? That's why Eagly is there.
Yeah. Eagly is terrifying.
I am quite enjoying Adebayo. Danielle Brooks is a brilliant actress, and I think that her character, which is kind of like someone from the outside put on the inside, it is quite fun. I don't want to give away spoilers until we get to spoilers, but very interesting background.
Yeah, and I also like seeing an openly gay character, and I'm not saying that that's spoiler, that's in the first episode, but I think that's a really important thing to just go, here is an openly gay character who has a family and is seen as being very much just a normal part of society. And I think that's one of those things that you see quite early on of Peacemaker. Kind of, you're like, how is he going to react to that? And he's kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but also in like the dickish kind of way of like, oh yeah, two girls making out's hot. Like,
That's the whole point of him. It's like no matter, even when he like you think that he's going to be doing something nice, he just does it in a way that you're like, oh, that's not what we meant, guys. Like that's the whole thing. I think that's the whole. I actually think everyone that's in the show has a pretty solid place within, and that's really hard to do for an ensemble. Like people can get lost in the background of things, and I find that like the people that came over from the Suicide Squad, and yes, Peter, some of the characters, not just Peacemaker, were in the Suicide Squad film, where they were
the Suicide Squad or Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad.
I
one you
clocked that
attempted
because
to
I
watch.
ended up watching it.
Right.
What, the Suicide Squad or
The
Suicide Squad?
Suicide
Oh,
Squad.
for fuck's sake.
Which one are we talking about? Is it the Suicide Squad or the...
Oh, stop saying
shut
it.
Also, what's up with James Bond, James Gunn's fascination with butterflies? That's all I've got to say. After watching The Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you and butterflies? Anyway,
I don't remember there being butterflies.
it's like that whole sequence with Harley Quinn in
Oh,
the Suicide
yeah.
Squad that was just chock full of
I like that
butterflies.
scene.
Yeah, it's a great scene, but like there's just lots of butterflies in your shit, man.
Maybe
What's
he
going
is
on?
the mighty monarch and we just, we're all living in his.
Well, maybe
world.
he eats sugar water like that guy from Men in Black, but with a tube. Anyway, we're getting too
Yeah.
far ahead of
We are.
Anyway.
Okay. Anything else we want to talk about before we go to spoilers? In terms of action or the way it's shot or the music? I think the music
Oh my
needs
God,
a fucking shout out.
Oh yeah, the
And-
music hands down. We know that James Gunn loves his music.
But I love that James Gunn's gone, okay, what's my jam this time? 80s hair metal. Fuck
Yes. That's always been his jam. But speaking of jam and things, I just want to give also a good shout out to Robert Patrick, who's doing a great job as a piece of shit.
Oh my God.
He looks like a piece of shit. He does piece of
Oh,
shit
yeah.
things. And I know that we all grew up hating him because he was the evil Terminator in
Yeah.
in see what does it. But now he's like a real piece of shit. It's like, man, Robert Patrick must be having fun. Anyway,
You
the
do
music's
kind of get
great.
that feeling, don't you?
Yeah.
Like this is going, oh, okay, I can do this. This is interesting.
Yeah. I just like that as
I don't
well.
know how much enjoyment you can get out of playing a white supremacist, but he's doing a good job.
Yeah.
You know why he's doing a good job? Because he looks fucking miserable. Like that's what I absolutely love about the character like that he's playing as Augie Smith. You know, just he looks unhappy and he acts unhappy, and even though you know he's supposed to be a piece of shit, he just looks like a miserable piece of shit, which is what you want out of the head of the Ku
Oh,
Klux
yeah.
Klan, the White Dragon and everything. I don't know. Yeah.
Can I
Let's
say
talk
that?
about the opening credits too.
Oh.
Yeah, well,
Well,
yes, but
I
yeah,
mean,
Yeah,
I think
never
everyone should
skip-
just go and watch the opening credits.
Yeah, I don't
I mean-
skip the opening credits.
no, I love that that's become a meme on the internet.
You'll have you
that
have a choice. You
Nobody
can-
skips the opening credits.
You can watch the opening credits now, or you could watch like when we come up to the change. We could do a different clip, but that's an
I
option
mean,
for
can
you.
I just say, for somebody who was thinking that they're about to watch The Punisher, the opening credits were very confusing.
But it did make me want to taste it. That's
But can I also say that I really enjoyed that first fight sequence with the butterfly in the apartment because
Oh,
it
yeah.
felt really like WrestleMania to me. Like
Yeah.
it was like all of the fight moves were very like heavy, like
Mhm.
you're not even trying to hide that you're just like leaning into the whole wrestling thing right now. And I kind of just like enjoyed that as a mood for that entire fight scene.
Yeah.
And I'm not even into that kind of stuff, but I was just like, yeah, this is fun.
Yeah.
This is a mood. I like it.
I mean,
Like,
and it
let's
sets
just
the
get
mood so
him-
well. You know, you've
Mm.
got the girl, and I mean, yes, there's the sex scene and everything like that, but the girl with the 80s spike hair and everything like that, you're like, oh, okay, we're in the middle of an 80s film clip here. Oh, and now they're doing rock and wrestling, and any second now there's going to be a big guy with a handlebar mustache who smashes through the wall and goes, oh yeah, or something.
It was just an excuse to put John Cena in his tidy whities again. I can't get over the fact that guy just looks like a sausage.
He looks like a condom.
Which
full
part of the
walnuts.
sausage?
That's exactly what we're saying. But oh goodness, yes. I mean, look, it's quite. This is the thing. When I was watching it, I was like, I'm not expecting to like this, and I watched the first episode. And I'm like, I'm not sold on it, but it's got some good moments, some fun stuff. And then now I'm kind of like, I'm quite interested in where this story goes. Can you just maybe show me the rest? And they're like, oh no, this comes out like weekly. It's like, God damn it, I kind of want to watch this.
I got sad when I realised that it wasn't finished because I was watching it on the weekend and I was like, what do you mean there's not another episode? Yeah.
Where, I'm quite
invested.
I'm quite having fun now, Mr. Gunn. Could you please give me some more of this Peacemaker? That's the thing, and I wasn't expecting that at all. And I also love that he's quite good at a little twist at the end of every episode. That there's just enough of a strange, weird twist to cover off what's going to happen next week. But I also
love the bit at the end of the credits of every episode where there's an outtake or an extended or deleted scene or something.
What?
Oh,
yeah. Very
Uh-huh.
credits every episode.
Oh, fuck. I have to go back.
It's good.
Uh-huh.
It's
Oh my
good that
god,
we.
I've just been turning it off.
No, sorry, we haven't got to Spoiler Town yet, but we.
Sorry, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Right.
Okay. Ratings before we do.
Yeah, have a think about your numbers because I'm just going to say that I really enjoy the fact that it goes to the little twist at the end of each episode. But when they come back to it in the next week, it just gives you an immediate payoff. Like usually they go, here's a surprise twist at the end of the episode, and then it goes straight from there the next time you come back to it. So at least you have that satisfaction. Like you know that within the first 30 or 40 seconds, you're going to get an answer to the question posed at the end of the episode, which is quite good for the episodic television narrative. I thought it was quite good.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
All right.
As always, everybody in the chat, whack in your numbers. Put your numbers with the out of 100 thing. It helps me to recognize which ones are your numbers so that I can put them into a spreadsheet and then do the thing later.
We get all mathy, you guys.
Yeah, Quinny loves math and spreadsheets. It's
Multi-anti-harthic tetraheligon something. I can't remember what the H stands for.
Okay, numbers. Should I go first?
Please.
Do it.
All right. I am going to give this maybe 85 cans of hairspray out of Poison's cherry pie. That's what I'm going to give it. 85 cans of hairspray. I like honestly, when an announcement was coming out, I was not into it. Even after the first episode, I was like, a bit on the fence. And then as we kept going, and once the team kind of gelled as to what they want and where I understood what this was, it is a piss take. It is actually going, no, he's a horrible person. The team is a horrible team, but there's still humans behind it. I just thought it got a lot smarter than it had any right to be. So I'm going to go, I think it's fucking great. Can't wait to see Guardians. From you? 85 cans of hairspray.
Sorry. 85.
I can't wait to see Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
I agree with all those points. Like it's funnier than I thought it would be. It's definitely smarter than I thought it would be. Like there is a lot more to it than I was expecting, and just having fun. That's what we need. Just need a little bit of fun. Fun that teaches us something sometimes. That's nice. So it's an 89 from me because I'm fun and it's made me laugh.
Which it sounds like you've needed.
But I really needed it this weekend, and I was like so thinking that you guys were going to make me watch some horribly violent. Like, I now that you said The Punisher, I'm like, oh, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was going to be The Punisher, which I haven't watched. I've only seen the poster, and I'm like, it doesn't look like something I like.
No, stay away from that one, Pete.
No,
so I'm just happy that it's not The Punisher, so I'm giving it 89.
Okay.
Like, funnily enough, the Punisher in a way is exactly what this could easily have been, in that it's an exploration of mental illness and toxic masculinity and violence and retribution, just with no fucking sense of humor. So this is like, like The Punisher,
Just
but on
add
acid.
comedy and all of that stuff gets better apparently.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to examine what's going on in my head.
Do you want to taste it? Yes, you did.
Jill,
I
your number.
am going to give it an 87. I didn't think I was going to like it, and I didn't want to like it, but I kind of love it.
Yep.
And, James Gunn has a way of injecting humor into the strangest of places. And he's so good at taking like a ragtag group of assholes and making them likable. He did it in Guardians. Everybody was a shithead, and they worked together, and they have like their lovable edges, and they work together really well. And he's doing the same thing here with this team. And yeah, I'm looking forward to watching more and hoping there's another season. I'm
It's looking pretty solid that it
so
will be.
surprised that it is what it is. Yeah.
I mean, the amazing thing about it is that, like, yes, it's looking like they'll probably get another season, but like, nobody like would have expected that a show based on that character from this film, from that universe, would be the highest streamed show of like for however long. Like, it's been the top streamed show for quite some time.
I just want to reiterate what Peter said before, that it's intelligent as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what's keeping a lot of people watching it, and maybe surprising people that thought they wouldn't like it, is that it's clever in what it's doing. And James Gunn is in no mind a stupid guy. He knows exactly what he's doing, and he's doing it well.
Yeah. And that is exactly why I think King Shark is, in fact, one of the sexiest people alive. Like,
Look, I wasn't with you at the start of that conversation, Quinny, but you've convinced me. I'm down. Like,
yeah, I thought you would be, because I mean, it's really hard to argue with.
You changed my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. King Shark changed mine. So,
like, I would not have thought that would be my motto for 2022, but King Shark fucks is just the best. Funniest shit I've ever heard, Quinny. Funniest shit I've ever heard. Oh, look. Oh, we're back. Anyway.
Sweet. Anyway, I rate it 90. There you go.
Hey, nice.
Like, to those of you that want to know what the fuck I actually said, it'll probably be in the podcast. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know when I got cut off.
Yeah. You just kept talking and talking.
Yeah. And now,
like he normally does.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, now that we've talked
Let's
about
go to spoilers.
but which one?
Yes.
Which, which clip do you want? Do you want the one where the vigilante is in prison, like verbally insulting
Nazis,
white supremacists, or do you want to watch the opening sequence with the dance that's stupid?
Can we go out on the dance?
Sure.
Yeah,
All right. Let's
we'll
go
go
listen. Let's go listen to the vigilante take on a whole bunch of white supremacists in prison.
Joking right now? No. Hey, look, I'll go first. I'm grateful that black people gave us rock and roll music. Lynyrd Skynyrd, ZZ Top, 38 Special, all those guys owe everything to black American folk and blues musicians. I mean, they wouldn't exist without them. And then white redneck music would just sound like, well, what it sounded like before black people, which was the wet, sloppy sounds of fucking your sister. Okay, so that's my turn. Which one of you dumb sister fucking tiki torch carrying sloths from the Goonies looking pieces of shit wants to go next?
Who the fuck are you?
You're first? Cool. Okay, wait, no, let me guess. Your favorite contribution to black American culture was all the black guys who fucked your mom in the ass while you watched from the closet jerking off.
You never answered. Who are you?
I'm just the guy who's gonna fuck you so hard your asshole's gonna be dragging behind you like a tail.
Oh, no, you're not gonna goad me into attacking you. We both know there's cameras all over this place.
Oh yeah, that's what.
I mean, hopefully, if you're listening to the podcast, you are of an age where it was appropriate for you to actually watch Peacemaker. Otherwise, apologies to parents.
Now, I just want to clarify.
parents be
when I
putting
gave Dion the clip,
What?
I said we should probably finish it at about 1:11, which is just before the bit
we
about
started
fucking
talking
your
about
mum and
the
everything.
relapsed assholes.
And Dion started it into it, and I was like, "Oh, we're starting late.
Oh no!
Oh, we're going into
I'm-
that bit."
I'm going like this is the point of the Peacemaker, like the Peacemaker, the TV show. And actually, I'm going to put up the spoiler section because we're going to be talking about spoilers, aren't we? Yes. This is the point of Peacemaker. It seems boring, and then it just goes full throttle immediately, and then just keeps moving, and you're like, wait, what? Fuck. Oh, okay. This is where we're going now. Okay, I see where I am. Excellent.
The funny thing is that's the scene where you really start to like Vigilante as a character.
Yeah, and you should never like Vigilante.
Exactly.
Well,
like
but okay,
any
so
of them.
here's the thing that's a bit confusing, and it's like it's a very kind of Dexterish thing because they've set up this character as a sociopath, and then it's kind of hard to maintain a truly sociopathic character and make them, likable and make you go into bat for them. So then for me, kind of that scene was like that does seem that it's genuinely important to Vigilante that he actually helps Peacemaker, and he does seem genuinely upset when he feels like not only has he not helped, he's actually made it worse, which kind of takes him out of that stone cold sociopath zone and into a human with emotions who we can maybe get on board with zone. It's probably not right for the character necessarily, but I think it's right for the show because I think it's important that we can kind of get on board a little bit with all of these characters, even Vigilante.
Yeah. And a shout out to Vigilante, who is a character that was created by some friends of ours, Marv Wolfman and George Perez, who created the character, and the character that is in that show is nothing like what the one from the comics is. So I'd be fascinated to talk to them at some point in time and go, what do you think about that?
Maybe not George Perez.
Yes.
But...
And yes,
maybe.
And shout out to George Perez, who is a lovely man who, has a very unfortunate cancer diagnosis that is not going to be operable. So it's a sad thing. Anyway, sorry, I just wanted to talk about Vigilante because, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he's a character that has shown up before. He showed up in the Arrowverse.
Oh. Yeah, but
yeah,
also,
he was in Arrow for a few episodes.
Yeah,
and-
Oh wait, now I remember.
But they've shown up like like when we're talking about all of these characters as they're presented, I love the fact that there is humanizing factors about every single one of the characters that's in the show, except they're all still pieces of shit. And that's kind of the wonderful, way that this does. Like all of the, the backup team, the other half, the team behind the computer, and the setup, because this is one of the things I also like that's explained in the Peacemaker TV show, is that vigilantes and people who are superheroes find it incredibly difficult to work on their own. You need a team of people helping you. That's why Batman has Oracle and the interchangeable sidekicks, and when one of them gets injured or dies, so they can just fill in.
We're going to need another Timmy.
Yep. Oops. Timmy fell down a Joker well. But
Jason.
Yeah, Jason. Jason fell down.
Tim came next.
Yeah.
Timmy's fine.
Wait, which one's the Red Hood? Anyway,
Jason.
Doesn't matter. That's the next one to go dead.
Press X to Jason.
Press X to Jason. But I like the fact that they explain this, but I also love that they're all pieces of shit too. Because they're not very nice people. They know exactly what they're working for, though, but they're just that kind of banality of evil. They're bureaucratic pieces of shit. Yeah. They're just oh, I'm just doing my job. I just have to do this because I'm just doing my job. It's your job is literally killing people.
Slightly flexed a conscience, though.
They do. But it is still kind of very difficult. It's a very murky grey area.
John Economos, who has a conscience, but also when it comes to a revelation later in the series that somebody is one of the butterflies, it's just like la 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 la, literally la 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 la. Don't want to hear it.
I love all of that kind of stuff. Like that was a great end to that episode. Was it episode 5 when what's the name of the character?
Myrn.
When Leota put on the helmet and found out the secret about Myrn, which was just amazing because you're watching all this show and you're like, oh yeah, and there's like, oh no,
yeah,
like,
good little twist.
I love all of those little twists. And I found that it's like they're the interesting little twists that go along with everyone in the show that you're just like, why? I hate you, but you're all very funny. You all got good lines, or you're all doing things to try to, be nice. You hate the vigilante because he's a sociopath. But when he goes after, Nazis in prison, white supremacists in prison, you're like, you're on vigilante's side.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that's a smart thing to do for a TV show.
Like there are some characters that keep coming back throughout, and I saw somebody ask the question as to why the next door neighbor is in the dance sequence at the start, and the same as the janitor. And I think it's just basically any character who appears in more than one episode or more than one scene probably gets into the dance sequence.
Yeah, but when you've got like all of that stuff, like you've got to flesh out a dance troupe, and they're probably they were probably just on set that day, and it was easier to do it. Like. Wouldn't you? I'd do it. I'd go to it. Be like, hi, you're a character. You're in for one episode, but we're doing a dance thing for the intro. Do you want to be in the background? I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Judo Master was only in, 2 episodes?
Yep. Sure. And the Judo Master, that fight was good, though. I like that car park fight with Judo Master. Like, the beauty of having an ex-professional wrestler and who is able to do stunts and do physical acting along with someone told me that
and
John
play
Cena,
piano.
Yeah, well, someone had told me that John Cena is able to be funny and look like that and play piano. And then I realized, I looked it up one day, and he shares the same birthday as me. And I look at myself at the same age, and I'm like, what are you doing with yourself, Dion? Not what John Cena's doing.
He not only plays the piano, but he also speaks Mandarin, and that's like the hardest language to learn.
You know what? I didn't come here to be insulted and made to feel like my life is worthless. Let's just move on.
I know, people. You've got a couple of years yet.
I need to embarrass myself on the internet.
Okay.
And
that's what the internet's for.
I need to ask, what is the joke about not being able to see John Cena?
Isn't that like his whole thing?
Explain it to me. I don't get it.
Right. And I can send
you... Dion, do you want to take this?
I can, only because, and strangely enough, I watched a couple of days ago a Graham Norton show clip about it had John Cena on it, and he asked him the questions like,
I missed the joke.
What is it? And that came from a dare from his brother. Okay. So his brother was doing a dance, and the dance was hold the hand up and do like this kind of head wobble behind the hand as a funky dance. And John Cena saw his brother do that and was kind of, because he's like, oh, my brother's kind of like, funky and, he's funkier than I am. He's cooler than I am. And so John Cena tried to do the dance, but mixed up the fact that he's supposed to put his hand up and do the dance behind it and put his body state, and he just started waving his hand in front of his face. And
like
then
an idiot.
Yeah, like an idiot. Like he got it wrong. That is John Cena's attempt at a dance, which didn't work. And then that's the end. And he said 15 years later, I'm a meme.
Yep.
Like he just can't get away from it. And no matter where he goes, people do that to him. Like, you can't see me, which was just a stupid catchphrase that he came up with. But then he went on to...
Also, I have put a link in the chat, and I'll send you the link that explains it in full, because, there is also, as Bren said, he used the song in WWE as well, of You Can't See Me. So it's this,
So
it's an ongoing joke.
Yeah. It's the internet.
I also love the fact that he did it. Like he does that because he forgot to do it the other way around, which is to move his head behind his hand as a dance. Like that's just fucking hilarious. Yeah.
Like I had that moment where I was like, I saw him in Bumblebee, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, he's not terrible. I know Adsky disagrees with a lot of hate. Also, shout out to Adsky for giving us a 0 as a score. Trying to fucking throw the curve there, buddy.
Another film that he's quite good in is Cock Blockers, but you know, hey, that's just some trash teen film. So
Cock Blockers is very funny and surprisingly intelligent.
Yeah,
I saw him in that Amy Schumer movie. I thought he was funny in that.
Yeah. Like people have got a hate on for him in the same way that they get a hate on for a lot of the wrestlers that then go, okay, I'm going to try and take on, you know.
They're just mad that someone that went from like professional acting whilst fighting is now doing professional acting whilst also fighting.
Yeah.
Probably getting paid a lot better.
As long as he doesn't start selling a fucking energy drink and tequila, I'm fine.
Wait, no, did you see Ryan Reynolds supporting Peacemaker because Aviator Gin was in one of the episodes?
Yeah.
A little nice crossover there.
This integrated marketing that's going across all these people. And like,
synergy.
Fucking stop it. Like I used to watch The Rock's Instagram because I was like, hey, he's cool and like he's fine. And now I'm just like, this is just an ad for your shit, brother. Like I'm not going to buy your energy drink or your tequila. Just fuck off. So yeah,
I still like him though.
Yeah, you can like him as a person. Just like, I don't want to see you because it's just anyway.
Anyway, enough of our opinion on wrestlers. Let's talk about the spoilers in the actual show. Talk to me about the butterflies. Do we like them as a villain, as a construct?
I love them in the explanation of how they get into people because they focused a lot on them entering through the anus. They show
an orifice.
Yes.
It's like,
the picture in the background on the chart was just like someone bent over and going up the ass.
I love the amount of PowerPoint humor in this.
Oh my god! Economist's PowerPoint presentation with like the explosion at the end.
Like, he put a lot of work into that. Like, fuck it was terrible. That's one of those things that I've enjoyed, like doing the rounds of the internet, like the big long list that John Cena, that Peacemaker lists of all of the people you could have framed instead of my fucking dad. And people have now animated that with every character that he mentions.
Oh, no.
The best part about it, Jill, and the part that you haven't seen because it's in the extended bit at the end.
I'm gonna go and like watch all of the extra bits after this.
Yeah. Like there's a whole bunch more characters that he starts listing. It's
okay.
Like I don't know whether it was just him having a list somewhere in front of him or just fucking naming things off the top of his head. But it was amazing.
I would love to think that scene was ad lib. Yeah.
I like to think so too.
Yeah. I hope it is too.
So what are the big spoilers that we wanted to talk about? What should we not have talked about in the first half?
I just feel like because the series hasn't ended, it's hard to like really, really spoil.
How do you think it's going to end?
I don't know.
Oh, are they going to kill
along for the ride?
I want to know
kind of like that.
If Leota gets any more contact from Amanda Waller, who is her mother. Oh my god!
Yeah. I love that. I love that. The Wall, fucking Amanda Waller, the toughest bitch in the DC universe, has a gay daughter who everybody is like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and is using her to infiltrate her old team.
Like Waller is
also she's quite good at it, so it makes me wonder what her special skills actually are that Waller refers to. Like she seems uncomfortable with what she's doing, but she's very good at what she's doing. So I'm wondering what the rest of the story is there without a bio.
Yeah. I like the idea that maybe she is actually like she's been put in because Waller knew that this team is a complete fuck up and she needs somebody to actually do cleanup.
Or she just, maybe she's got someone like Waller's got someone to come in and just clean house, basically.
Yeah.
Like maybe
go in.
You know what would be lovely? It would be lovely to have the rest of the Suicide Squad turn up to clean house once they discover where the butterflies are coming from, and then the Peacemaker just kind of sat there alone, going, "Wow, I wasn't even needed. Great."
I kind of want to know how this team was formed in the first place. I mean, when we discover that Myrn is actually a butterfly, like, it's like, okay, so he wants to stop the butterflies from taking over like the human race, but like, how did he get into this position, and did he put this team together, and why is Amanda Waller trying to infiltrate it? And I feel like there's probably still a little bit more to the story that we haven't got yet.
Sure. Yeah. There's not much more story that can happen though, because there's only got 2 episodes left.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And like, I'm kind of annoyed that it comes out on Fridays in Australia.
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't
Comes
it?
out on Thursdays.
Does it come out on Thursdays? See, I don't know. What day is it? I'm not even sure anymore.
What year is it?
What year?
Year.
What? Thursdays?
So somebody's asking about Harcourt. Do we think that Harcourt's going to be a bigger character, or have more to do, or do you think she may just?
I think she's in her spot.
Yeah, I don't think they need to. Like, I don't think anyone needs to have a great reveal in there, because I just kind of like the fact that they are the government spooks who are just doing a government job, and it kind of sucks, but they've got to do it. You know?
I really hope that she doesn't, I don't know, sleep with Peacemaker.
Chris.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, no one needs to see that anymore. We saw it in the first episode.
Like,
we don't need to
feel
see
like
it
would
again.
be the right move for her character.
Yeah.
And I just hope that they're not setting up her falling in love with this guy. That would really disappoint me, to be honest.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I anytime they've kind of alluded towards that, or even slightly hinted to it, I've gone,
I can see that she's kind of warming up to him, but I'm like, oh my God, please don't.
Look, I mean, I don't know what the backgrounding are. I mean, I don't want to, like, this is spoilers, but it's not really spoilers because it's just the episode titles. But the next episode is called Stop Dragging My Heart Around. What a pun. So hopefully that will be, as we got set up in the last episode, the White Dragon is going to go after the Peacemaker. So that's kind of resolve that side of the storyline. And then the last episode is called It's Cow or Never. So... So that's where they'll resolve like the butterfly storyline. I feel like how that could go. But I mean, I'm just still having a really good time with all of the people in it. I don't need them to have a huge twist. I just need them to get through it now. I kind of feel like, no, we've had enough character development with the Peacemaker people. So now we just need to see them resolve the story. I don't need any more character development. I've seen the soft side of Peacemaker. I've seen Peacemaker buck naked shagging a 80s hair metal orgy thing, and everything in between. I just need to see more Eagly and find out, you know, whether or not we see any other cameos. Maybe the Flash will turn up.
See, this is what I'm wondering is like, I would be fascinated to see if they, but in a way, anytime that you cameo one of the big characters, you kind of take away from the agency of your characters that you've set up for an entire series.
I feel like the whole point of them doing television series as opposed to movies is telling smaller stories. So like once you do start to like cross over and bring in bigger characters, it kind of ruins the whole
I mean,
magic.
I'd give them a standing ovation if they got Robert Patrick's The Batman in.
Who? Robert Pattinson.
No, Patrick. No, it's Robert Patrick, isn't it? No.
No.
What's his
Pattinson.
name? The guy
Robert
from
Patrick is the White
Twilight.
Dragon.
Yeah, that's what I mean. No, the guy from Twilight. It's the same dude, right? He's a time traveler. Like it was Robert Pattinson.
Yes, he's a sparkling racist.
Yeah,
Sorry, Dion, that joke did not hit.
I'm covering for it by just keeping going, Jill.
Just doubling and now tripling
Digging
down.
that hole.
It wasn't even a joke. I was actually serious. I was like, if they put in the Batman, I'd be actually quite. I'd be like, that's great. The Batman's about to come out. They chuck him in the Peacemaker.
Yeah,
They merge universes.
Nope. Yeah, it's like that's not going to happen.
What about Michael
That
Keaton's
would be the
Batman?
moment when I yeet myself from the planet.
I don't know how I'm going to deal with emo Batman, guys. Like, I have very low levels of excitement for that whole situation.
I had a friend talk to me on Saturday.
3
and she was
hours?
Like, oh yeah, like what about the new Batman, Jill? And I'm just like, I don't fucking care. I'm like, I'm so done with bloody Batman franchises. I'm sorry, but like it was at its best pre-New 52 with the animated series, and I will not accept any other Batman.
I like that Travis said the other day, like we live in a world currently where there are 1, 2, 3, 4 Batman currently in operation. So there's the Batman on Titans, there's the Batman in the Batman, there's Michael Keaton Batman in Flashpoint, there's Ben Affleck Batman in Flashpoint, and there may have been another one, like another live action Batman kicking around. And I was like, fucking really? Yeah, okay. How many Batmans do we need?
Not that many.
No.
Yeah, look, as long as they give me a good explanation of where his character motivation and his origin story comes from in the Batman, I'll be happy.
What we really need to see is the mother get shot again and the pearls go everywhere.
Yeah, alleyway. Like, I'm not quite sure.
Jill's about to leave, guys.
I'd like to see someone's creative interpretation of what inspired Bruce Wayne to become the Batman at some point. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's certainly not something that's ever been explored. Jill's gone.
Why?
I do love
Why
that.
they keep ruining my favorite character?
I just love the fact that they're like, yeah, 3 hours long. What we need is a Batman film that is longer still than all the others.
I would love to see Batman Tokyo Drift. Just reboot the franchise by coming out with a weird one that's set in Japan. And you're like, yeah, I'm down. What's going on?
It's a Japanese Batman. They did it in Unlimited. Go and read Batman Unlimited.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, then you can have a go like, the Batman is about family.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh my god, are we finished?
I feel like we've gone to a place that needs to be finishing now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine. Like, surprisingly, the Peacemaker TV is just surprising. Like, I'm really down for it. And are we finished? Does anyone else have anything to say about Peacemaker? No,
go and watch it.
Actually,
I think if you tuned out and were like, yeah, no, it's not for me, give it another go. I think you'll find that there's a lot in there.
Yeah, I have a question for the chat as well, or for you guys as well. Now, and I'm willing to admit when I am wrong. I was wrong. I didn't calculate well enough, and I miscalculated how many episodes of the Book of Boba Fett there were, and I fucked it up because I thought there were 8, and I was dead set certain that there were 8 episodes, and apparently there's only 7, which is why I put the Book of Boba Fett Friday show to like the 18th. But it's going to be a week earlier so that we can talk about it because I've got some stuff to say. So is that all right if I change that to the, I think, is it the 11th? No? 10th?
As in this Friday.
As in, yeah. Like, it's the 11th.
Yeah, 11th,
yes.
This Friday.
Yeah. So, just want to make sure.
This Wednesday's the last episode?
Yep.
Yeah.
No!
Yes, they have spent 2 fucking episodes dicking around with the Mandalorian side characters.
See, Jill?
But no, the last episode, there you go. Anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just like, sorry, I think I messed that up. I was like, no, there's 8, and I calculate everything on it, and just been like, yeah, it's cool. And then someone was like, well, particularly Quinny.
I was going to say, when you say someone, it was me, and we're out walking.
Yeah, like, nah, I'm pretty sure. I'm like,
It's just such an icky number.
Yep.
Yes.
You couldn't do an even number?
Yeah, let's do 7 episodes.
Yeah. As I said,
let's do 2 of the 7 episodes not about the title.
Fair thee warned. Look, it could just be 3 hours of me gonking my little heart out on the stream.
I'll come.
Yes.
I'll come. I'll gonk at you, and you can just keep talking over me because it's your show.
It's our show. It's a collective.
I'll just sit there going gonk.
Gonk. So, Peter, can you catch up with all of the Book of Boba Fett before Friday? I know that we've got deadlines and stuff, but it's okay.
Yeah, I know we have a real life, but like, can you just do this one thing?
Yes. So, Hot Take Friday, going to change from the 18th to the 11th, because everyone knows that I've been just dying to talk
Gagging
about it.
for
I've
it.
been holding it in quite well, but I'm getting a little
You have.
frustrated angry. Oh, there's some interesting conversations going on. If you haven't joined the Facebook page, the periodic table Facebook spoiler discussion thread, you can join the group. Join the
Yes.
group.
Well, there's three of them. There's the Marvel one, the DC one, and the Star Wars one.
Star Wars one.
There is a Spider-Man one, but we kind of just like forget
That's
about
been
that one.
subsumed
We
into
absorb
the Marvel
that
one.
into the Marvel one, so we just talk about those things. But yeah, I'm definitely keen to have some opinions.
I like that Casper's like, and you guys do love reviewing series when they aren't done. Yeah, I mean,
sure.
You see us.
Sure. We'll never live down the Orville when we came out and said, that's a terrible piece of shit. Oh, fuck, it's actually really great science fiction. Fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry. First 5 minutes of the new season is out as a preview. You can go watch it anywhere on the internet at the moment. And it's pretty cool. Got some good shit in it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well,
okay. So Friday is the Book of Boba Fett.
Yes, Friday will be the Book of Boba Fett, and then we've got what's the week after? Oh God, I've forgotten.
We are doing Critical Role, Vox Machina next week.
Yes.
Next Tuesday.
And there is a very good possibility that we may have a very nice surprise over that one. So
we'll see.
Keep your ears and eyes peeled on it. And if you haven't,
pick up your 20-sided die and just give us a roll for it. And, and hopefully it comes out pretty close to 20.
Now, Pete, it's animation. Will you be watching?
Guys.
Oh, no. Oh,
or are you
guys.
taking a break?
There are no elements of this that interest me. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no.
Didn't think you'd do it. Especially not after we made you watch
I don't feel like my opinion of this will be useful to anyone.
Pete, you're a well-known D&D aficionado.
Yeah, you know how to calculate THACO, and you're totally down with armor class, and you know what burning hands do.
Are these real words?
Yes.
I don't know.
Peter, you can give us your own Eldritch Blast.
It doesn't even understand. It's
No, sorry.
right over the top.
She's
just holding
if
out
you
for
want to
the
bow out,
Encanto
Peter,
one.
I'm sure that we will find somebody. I know that the person that got me into Critical Role
Yes,
is.
maybe we will be blessed by Ardella next week.
Who knows?
Oh, who knows? Who knows? I don't know. I've heard that D&D is not very popular, so maybe we'll try.
Yeah, nobody plays it.
All right. Well, okay. So I have the thing that we've all been waiting for to play us out on. But
Oh yes.
oh yeah,
We're going out. We're going on a dance number.
This is just the way. But thanks very much for coming along and talking about the Peacemaker, the surprising sleeper hit of 2022. It's been good times, and thanks in the chat for all of your messages and conversations. Very interesting to see everyone's different opinions of it.
Yeah.
Going out.
Yeah.
I love that. Don't all have to
Many.
agree. I love it when people are like, no, you're shit. It's like, yeah, well, okay, maybe. Okay.
We love you guys. See you next time.
Okay, thank you. Good night. Woo.
Make a move extreme. Shortcut to your dream. A blow straight to the stars on that flying thing. Get a snowblind game. Pick a tune, chick a boon in the world beyond. Got a beat, got a heat. horizon as I cheer 'em on so proud. The powered girl keeps staring at her face and call Colossus and have him teach me ways, and then we'd exercise. I'd be one of the guys. Martial arts from Iron Fist and Wall. I'll dance her up and teach her all my songs. Oh, I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not cooking up these heroes at my parents' restaurant now. I wanna yell out Avengers assemble, not order up for Ethel. Yeah, we're out of cheeky now. Date Emma Frost and have her read my mind. Or Magdalena, her artifacts I find, and then we catch a symphony. It'll just be her and me. Call Bucky Barnes and arm wrestle for hours. There's NMA and bring her lots of flowers.